As their world began to fall apart, Akhenaten's oldest officials must have remembered how things had been under his father.
One could say that Akhenaten did all he could in his power to destroy his father's legacy. So at the end of his reign, what used to be a very cohesive power in the international arena is a country on the verge of crisis.
Only the pharaoh's personal charisma held the dream together. Then in 1336 BC, Akhenaten died. With Akhenaten dead, the keystone of Atenism was gone. In the hills above the deserted city, work was abandoned on the tombs of Akhenaten's courtiers.
The tombs at Tel El Amarna are all unfinished and unoccupied. The paintings are barely finished in some cases. It's almost as though somebody has just heard the king has died, we're going away, drop your tools and go.
Now, with Akhenaten dead, traditional forces took hold of Egypt. Once loyal courtiers, artisans, even priests of the Aten flocked back to Thebes, eager to wrest order from the chaos that threatened to engulf Egypt. After just 20 years, Amarna, the setting for Pharaoh's great experiment, was abandoned. Emerging from the chaos came a new king, a 9-year-old boy. This child pharaoh had grown up in Akhenaten's palaces, his son by a minor wife. His name was Tutankhaten, meaning the living image of the Aten. Tutankhaten inherited a dynasty, a country, and an empire staring disaster in the face. But he was only a boy. Those who had lost out under Akhenaten seized their opportunity. They would use the young king to their own ends. First, they would have to change his name. Tutankhaten became Tutankhamen, the living image of Amun.
Tutankhamun is, to a certain extent, a dual personality. He is a personality in between the Amarna and the post-Amarna age. He certainly breathed Amarna air. He was imbued with this intellectual innovation. On the other hand, he was also the first pharaoh of the post-Amarna era. He was a puppet of the new leaders in Egypt, priesthood and military.
In a carefully scripted decree, Tutankhamun blamed his own father, Akhenaten, for neglecting Egypt's traditional gods and plunging Egypt into chaos.
When His Majesty's reign began, the temples of the gods and goddesses were in ruins. Their shrines had crumbled into piles of rubble choked with weeds. Their chapels were little more than footpaths. And the land was in chaos because the gods had abandoned it.
Tutankhamun's solution to these problems was simple.
There is a very important proclamation to the effect that order is being restored and then things are going to go back to the way they were before. So this is the bringing back of Amun, of the ancient gods, of the old order.
The old gods, the temples, and above all the power of the priests of Amun-Re were restored. The Aten was relegated to a minor place in the pantheon. No one went to its city. No one spoke of it. Akhenaten's heresy had simply never happened. By the time Tutankhamen was 19 and able to rule in his own right, everything seemed to have returned to normal. But that same year, Tutankhamen died, suddenly and mysteriously.
An examination of his skull has recently produced yet another theory concerning the Aten family, and that is that Tutankhamen may have been murdered. By whom? Question mark.